$100.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to session 4 of my corporation campaign. So we are going to jump straight in to where we last left off, but I thought I might as well do a quick summary just to remind everybody what's happened. Even though I can't remember exactly everything, but essentially you were assigned along with your new colleague, Dr. Nicholas Reed, to go to a Welt Ball game at Vladivostok because a UIG team member, because they have their own sponsored team, was apparently murdered. After you dug around, you looked through those sort of camera footage, an offensive back got involved with the team playing at the time and did extremely well, which possibly got her back into the team. We don't know yet. Well, her own team. You found out that the character the team member wasn't actually killed per se. He was in fact kidnapped, was sedated, and he was transported, you think, to the ominous looking tower on the horizon close by. You also spotted who you think could be Gemini, or I know that a couple of you theorized could it be a clone of Gemini or a twin, something like that. And I believe a couple of you managed to apprehend her. I think mainly due to connection problems. I think Dr. Reed was still at the truck, but a couple of you tried to get after her, if I remember rightly.
Yes, we managed to apprehend her. She's in the back of our van where we were about to engage in some gentle questioning.
Okay.
Yes, we were going to wait for the doctor so we could start the torture, weren't we?
Gentle questioning.
I have some things in my back which might help.
Yeah, we are going to gently coerce her into giving us all the answers that we want, all the information we require, and of course, perhaps a few answers that we weren't looking for. I'd be very, very, very pleased to know if she knows this weekend's lottery numbers.
We would.
I don't want to be doing this shit forever.
Is anybody holding her still or anything like that?
If she tries to move, I could make that not happen.
She's not moving at all. Once you kind of place her back on the truck, she doesn't move. In fact, she's pretty stock still. She just stares off into the distance, back towards the tower. She's muttering something very, very quietly under her breath.
I'll bash her lips about until they stop moving.
Right.
Okay.
She's speaking.
She sort of takes the hits, doesn't really lash back out or anything. Doesn't really flinch either. Just resumes to
Is she on
doing
something?
what she's doing.
Is she taking something? Doctor?
She looks like she's under some kind of hypnotic trance. I will have a look.
Sure.
Check her over for injection marks, or check her tongue, see if it looks like she's taking anything.
Okay.
Jason, I'm going to
Yes.
take a bit of cloth from somewhere and I'm going to cover her eyes.
Okay, cool. Again, she doesn't struggle or stop you or anything. So as you're doing that, Nicholas, can you give me intelligence plus medicine, please?
Damn, I was rather hoping that taking her eyes off the tower, it might stop her muttering.
No, she just keeps her head in the same position. She doesn't move it or anything, but she keeps muttering. It's very, very quiet, so it's not like you know.
That would be 9 under the target.
9 under, did you say?
Yes.
Made by 9. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you have a good look, especially sort of crease of the elbow, things like that. You know where main injection sites are. You can't see anything at all. In fact, it's kind of strange that she seems to be completely intact. She's not had anything done to her or modified that you know of, but you do see that maybe a year or two ago she has had cybernetic modifications, which you kind of assumed anyway from the fact she got through the barrier when she was leaving the venue.
Where
You're not
so
quite
other,
sure what those are, though.
other than the skin, whereabouts are her modifications that you can see?
They do all appear to be skin based. So there's one sort of at the top of the spine that comes down a little bit, presumably for coverage, maybe on the back or something. And there's another one just center of the chest.
Can I lean in close to her? Just leaning with my head and see if I can hear what she's muttering.
Yeah. So you're leaning really close to her. Again, she doesn't kind of put her head back from you or anything like that. Obviously, she's blindfolded, but she doesn't move. And she just says two words over and over again: Mama and Papa.
Mama and Papa is possibly a code, do you think? Maybe you're...
Or perhaps she's trying to contact someone. Does she have some sort of see if she's got like an earpiece or something?
Okay. You have a little look. Again, you can't see any sort of extra equipment or headset that she's wearing. You think, I don't know, maybe it's a coping mechanism, possibly?
Herr Doctor, you have a nice selection of scalpels there.
I do. That is
Could I
rather
possibly borrow
extreme.
one? Thank you.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to do scalpely things with it. Don't worry.
I don't think that is a good idea.
Do not worry.
It's
I'm
me.
not going to be doing anything that will provide any harm to the young lady. Much.
Well, let me try something first. I have amongst my many something that will detoxify. So I shall try injecting that first, see if that'll cleanse her of anything that she's on.
Okay. What I'll
I'm just
say
having a look what it's
is
called.
you do get the needle in. I mean, you've injected people a million times being a field doctor, but you definitely feel that it's almost like her skin is really hard. It really takes a bit of oomph to get the needle in cleanly. And in fact, at one point, you're slightly worried that the needle was going to, twist or break a little bit.
She has dense subcutaneous tissue. It takes some getting through.
I believe that was Phil, so I'm just checking.
Yes, he's on his way back. He's just having connection trouble.
Coolio. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, you do get it in, and after a couple of minutes waiting for it to kick in, she keeps saying "Mama" and "Papa," but it's almost like if
Bill
you've been
says he wants to try saying Mama and Papa back to her.
Okay, awesome. So she keeps saying it, but with a kind of say you've had something like morphine, so you're quite numb all over. It sounds like her lips are a little bit loose, and it's hard for her to control her speech, but she still says it. Phil, I'll obviously let him know as well, but essentially it has no effect.
I whisper in her ear, Mama and Papa are no longer here.
Oh, that's not nice.
Okay. Can you give me a presence with... Let's go for lying and acting.
Perception, presence, and lying and acting.
Yeah, presence and lying and acting.
Yeah, I'd made it by 9.
Okay. So it's a little bit odd to you that she's not fazed by anything that's going on at all. I mean, obviously, you have no idea if she's got a mother and father, or if they are alive or whatever. So you know that you're saying a load of rubbish. But at the same time, you would be convinced that someone of her age, at least, would be a bit intimidated by that, but she's not. But you do notice, leaning close to her, that not only is it sounding a bit like her, again, her lips are a little bit tricky to control, so it's coming across as a bit sort of slurred speech, but it is starting to get a bit slower.
Oh. It would appear that her mantra is slowing down just a tad.
Good. Perhaps she will be coming out of the trance soon.
Do you do anything more physically with her? So do you do any more injections, or do you do anything with the scalpel?
I would not give my comrade a scalpel, and I wouldn't be using one.
You wound me, sir.
Okay. So
I assure you she would be perfectly safe.
I have been with your group no longer than, well, a few days, and already I've seen it's a large lady beating people up, and we've all been acting rather strange.
Yes,
I'm
but
sure I didn't beat up anyone that wasn't meant to be beaten up.
yes, but
Of course. Yes.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Each of us in our group perform a very specific, specialized skill.
I beat up.
Offensive is our tank. She goes in and blows them all the fuck. And
No,
then
I hit things until they bend.
as in what? As in like her limbs type thing?
No, I hit things until they bend.
meanwhile,
And things that aren't bent, you hit them and they bend.
I'm the person who uses subtle interrogation techniques and the occasional aid, like a scalpel, in order to properly interrogate people. It's all a very subtle art, you see. But I don't do damage. Scalpels do damage, especially when offensive has them. But I don't do that damage personally. Much. Really.
Okay.
Well, not as much as I used to. I have mellowed some.
So, Jang, while Maxwell is going on about his methods of scalping and how the scalpel does all the pain rather than him, and his strange logic behind that, you've still got your eye presumably on this girl. Not only is her speech slower, but you can hear that she's now started to clench her teeth while saying it. And then she starts saying a different word, not in English, simply one word you think, itse tuho. And she just repeats that over and over again. and her teeth kind of clench more and more, and get
Is it
more and more.
Mandarin?
Okay.
Because I speak Mandarin.
No, it's not Mandarin.
Oh, I have
What's
no
what?
idea.
It's
Do we?
It's
Do
not
we
a language any
recognize?
of you recognise it, although you know you've obviously well travelled, so you might know it. Anybody can give me an intelligence plus corp knowledge roll, or I'd accept arts and culture as well.
Oh, that'll be a corp knowledge roll then.
Double O.
No,
Double
no,
up.
not even close.
That's
Yeah.
a 10 and a 10.
Oh, no, that's not close. No.
It is definitely
No.
French. I think it's something off the menu. Is she hungry?
It's like
Does she
she's,
want food?
it's like she's slowing down, like a battery's running out. Oh,
Well, that would happen if you spoke French, surely. What country's a man?
What was your result, Nicholas?
18. So
18.
miles
Okay,
off.
yeah. No, you don't know. It does have a little tiny bit of a lilt to it, like possibly could be. Well, I mean, obviously, offensive says French, but for those of you who know a little bit more than that, it could possibly be maybe Japanese, but then there's a little bit of Scandinavian, possibly, or
No, it's
it's
French.
tricky.
It's a food item. I've seen it on menus.
But she keeps on saying this, and then anyone who's got their eyes still on her, you notice that something on her neck is sort of slightly tanned brown, and something shiny is kind of spreading up now and actually starting to cover all her face and her mouth, and kind of completely engulf her. And you can see it appearing on her arms as well a bit, and on her legs.
You see, I should have gotten the bloody scalpel before. Right, I take one out the bloody bag at this point.
are we entirely sure she's human?
Wow, the
I
connection's
think we
really
should-
bad tonight.
Are we sure she's
I'm
human?
afraid I haven't heard anything.
Oh, is it no sound? You
I
mean?
can hear you
Nothing?
I can hear you, Phil.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of lag.
Yeah.
Crazy lag.
Everyone's on the internet. Is she human? It's gonna be a text game in a minute.
I don't think Becky can hear anyone at the moment.
Oh dear. Move closer to your router. I am using an Ethernet cable.
Becky's frozen completely, and Jason. It is very laggy.
Yeah, it's weird. No, mine seems all right this week. It's strange. Bloody,
hold on.
bloody internets.
Oh, I can hear you, Jason. Oh, it's gone.
I think they're going to reset.
Technical issues. Yes. So what did I miss really then? She's you're going to cut her up.
Yeah. Maxwell's going to slice and dice.
Maxwell is not going to slice and dice.
Yes, he is.
Maxwell was being very, very, very sure of himself and just making sure that people realized that he was just going to use the scalpel as a medium with which to loosen her tongue, not literally, just,
Yes.
Well, I'm becoming increasingly afraid she's not human at all.
Yeah, I'm beginning to worry. We're looking at
explode.
a droid.
Yeah, the purging drug didn't appear to have had any effect on her.
Oh, you gave her something to do, yeah.
Yeah, she's got some kind of synthetic skin. Perhaps she's a Terminator.
Yes, she's completely synthetic.
Dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mamas and papas. Perhaps she is grey. Oh, she wants to listen to some music.
Yeah, we've got to make sure she's not going to blow up. If this lump is spreading from her, we're going to throw it at the car in a minute or something.
Ah, you think there's a danger she might blow up?
She might blow up.
She will explode on us. We will. Ding.
That was me.
Oh, that was you. You were quite correct. It was.
And if you're watching, Stephen, hi. Stephen is currently involved in my very light, quite tongue-in-cheek, very, very easygoing, relaxed Savage Worlds game that I'm running on a Friday.
Is that how you're describing it? Is it?
That's how I'm describing it. I very much doubt my players will describe it anything like that, but I'm going to describe it as a light, rip-roaring, swashbuckling adventure.
They're the best.
No, it's a bit of medieval horror.
It was the best time for horror, isn't it? Medieval.
I thought you meant in this day and age.
Well, I mean, it's the setting is Ultima Forsan, which is essentially it's a slight what if. What if the Black Plague had completely ripped through Europe and turned the people that it killed into zombies?
Thoughts about that?
Hello.
That's right.
Hello.
Are we still broadcasting, or is
Yes,
it?
we are.
Yes,
Yes, we
Wow.
are, which is
yes,
wonderful.
we've been trying to keep
Thank you.
Stephen entertained.
It's going to happen. Self-isolating. Could you, just because I didn't get any of it, can you just repeat what you said, both of you, after I said that the skin stuff was going on?
Yes,
Yeah, sorry, carry on, Ronnie.
I said I'm just grabbing one of the scalpels now.
Okay.
And I'm going to just say to the rest of the others, I'm a bit concerned. She might not be real. She's obviously powering down or running out of battery or something.
It's one possible explanation. Another
Maybe.
possible explanation is that she's that she's been remotely terminated.
I think she's got the brain of a child.
Well, she is quite young. She's sort of in her teens.
And she's
So-
being
Who's
not in
has
her
the
own
child?
brain. She's like a grown body with the brain of a child that can be controlled by a machine. It makes
Grab a hand and
perfect sense.
feel for a pulse.
Feel for a pulse. Okay. It takes you a while, but you do find one. But you definitely feel, again, that thickness of skin, almost a slight rubberiness. And now that she's like getting this weird sort of tanning going on, you feel it more. And actually, after a point, you feel the pulse disappearing. Not because you think the heart's stopping, but because it's so thick, this stuff that's like this extra skin that's covering her now, that you just can't feel it.
She's forming herself in some sort of protection. Is my guess. She's human. I'm going to use that scalpel.
Well, I'd rather like to use the scalpel, I want to see if I can pry this stuff off of her face.
Okay.
I don't want to I want to try and get in there and try and lever this stuff that's coming over her off again.
That's going to be quite difficult, and you've not got long to do it.
Yeah, I'm going straight in. Hold on. Yes, I'm going straight in with the scalpel.
Yeah.
Hacksaw.
It's not a hacksaw or a dagger type affair, this. So, can you give me an agility? It's going to have to be medicine because you're kind of doing it in a medicinal manner almost.
Okay, so the person formerly known as Gemini. Agility plus medicine. Oh, get in there! Made up a 5. That's just double checking.
Okay.
Agility, yeah, made up a 5. Wow.
Okay. Whereabouts on her face are you doing this? Like on her
literally sort of on her wherever it's currently at its highest, just trying to get down and sort of get into it, and I'm hoping to get it off her mouth again.
It's quite hard to do, but you managed to do it without actually hurting her. Like there's no blood that comes out, fortunately.
Yep.
As you peel it off her, it almost has a slightly rubbery texture, but it kind of reminds you of bark as well. It's sort of a thick layer, which again, Nicholas, you think this could be like an extra skin, and you have heard of some cybernetics that can do this, like sort of a protective skin layer. But essentially, even though you do that, Maxwell, it just kind of kneads back together quite quickly. It obviously has its own biological sort of intelligence in there to do that. And soon her whole face is covered.
On the downside, clearly that was pointless. On the upside,
We learned that was pointless.
We learned that I can actually use a scalpel without hurting anyone. Thank you very much. Now,
you see her actually, like from a seating position, she kind of falls back a bit, and it's kind of horrible because she's obviously instinctively trying to breathe, but she can't, and yet she's still. You think that this is something that is in her DNA, or doing this to herself or something, so it's obviously intentional.
It's intentional by somebody, maybe or maybe not her. Either way, I think she's going to be dead soon. The question is, do we keep her in the... Are we in a van?
You're in a truck. I don't think we specified.
Right. The question is whether her bio triggers here on being captured are going to result in her in some way exploding or doing something bio. And I'm not sure we should find that out. I think we should put her under the wheels of the truck. Just in case you understand. Sorry, yeah?
At least put her outside the truck and observe from a safe distance.
If this young lady is not entirely human, do you think there's any way that we could possibly hack her?
Sure, I get my sword out.
Not that kind of hacking. Thank you. At this point, I turn to the doctor and say, "See, I caused no damage. There's the person who does the damage." And at this point, I'm going to put.
Don't you?
I'm going to put. I'm going to drop the scalpel into his bag like I'm doing a mic drop.
Okay.
Mic drop done.
Wow. Scalpel drop.
Scalpel drop.
Didn't puncture anything important in there.
I shall check. Just to be sure.
I'll say, fortunately, no. For simplicity's sake.
Very good. Perhaps we should let her outside the van and see where she goes and follow her that way.
Zhang, you don't think there's any way of hooking her up to a computer, a mainframe of some sort, and gain information?
Possibly. I mean, if we could find a port on her or something, we could.
Just looking at her now, she's her breathing is sort of slower and more restricted, and you think if there was anything on there, there's no way you could get to it now. This casing now is all around her.
Oh, bugger.
This was triggered by us catching her. If we let her go, would you think it might recede?
There's
Possibly, or it's a self-destruct, one of the two.
Well, there are, of course, we now have two possibles on the table. Either it is a self-defense mechanism, in which case I agree with Zhang that if we let her go, it may very well...
Oh,
He's gone.
that's a bit different. Ronnie's turn.
Maybe it was a metaphor. I'm hoping he'd accidentally hit a wrong button or something. But then again, everyone's staying at home, so okay. Did you do a boo-boo?
No, it just suddenly went.
Oh.
Which was
Would you like to
weird.
start again?
That was very odd. Yes, so either we let her go and hope that this skin recedes, or Offensive has put forward the idea that this might be some self-destruct mechanism. If that is the case, and it's a big if, but if that is the case, then we certainly don't want her in our car.
True.
Either way, she needs to get the fuck out.
So what are you doing with her?
I say we need to put her outside the car.
Okay. You do so. Her breathing is even less now than before, except for the odd sort of quite big contraction. Again, it's quite horrible to see. She's obviously trying to breathe, but she can't. But she doesn't try and get away or anything.
Okay. Stand aside. I will try and get this material off her.
What about some sort of emergency breathing thing, tracheotomy or something like that, doctor?
I can do that. Yeah.
Can you remind me what that does?
I shall do a tracheotomy.
You cut into the windpipe and you insert.
Oh yeah,
into
yeah,
the
and
throat
like
about there.
yeah, like in Saw 5. Yeah. The old Saw 5
need help.
trick.
Rummage around, get tube.
You could, well, I have no qualms with you trying, but
Way to
again, a very refined syringe needle was hard enough to get in there.
We have someone that can make big holes
Well,
with a sword.
it will have to be an agility plus medicine, but you're going to have a modifier or penalty for that, given now the skin's sort of all over her. So it will be a -4.
I think I could probably get it in there if you want me to try, Doctor. Just show me what I gotta poke in there.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just have a quick look at my character. See what my chances would be. -4, did you say?
-4, yes.
Right, well, I've got an even chance. So I'll give it a go. 50-50.
50-50.
That sounds good to me. There we go, fingers crossed. Yep, made it by 2.
Okay. So your hand's shaking a little bit when you do it, but you keep firm. I'm assuming it's like a... Are you putting a big needle in there, or like a tube, or a pen?
Yeah,
Because
genre
I've
for
only
the
seen it on
pen.
Skull 5, so...
Yeah. I'll probably have something more medicinal in my bag.
All right. Let's
So
say
yeah,
you've got
it
some
would
kind of
probably be
tube.
like you say, a large syringe that's designed for that purpose.
Okay.
So there we go. In it goes.
Yeah, she inhales very sharply. Her chest sort of arcs sharply like that, and she starts breathing. But there's no receding of the skin at all. As her breathing starts returning to normal, you actually see her hands kind of I suppose weakly or apathetically, but kind of starting to do this a bit, but with no sort of determination or tenacity or anything.
Need to get her to a proper medical facility.
Would she have a sneaker or something like that?
Probably not. Sneakers are normally given to agents new IG only. You certainly didn't see one to begin with, no. Given it's Vladivostok, it will be a bit of a way to get to any professional medical facility. It would essentially be near to where you arrived in Russia. So it's a good half a day's travel away.
Okay. So I'd like to try a few tests on the substance, fire.
Yeah, you've still got that piece that Maxo managed to peel off. Yes, okay. Let me just consult my book a moment, see if there's any info on that. If not, I will be making it up. You said burning. What else did you say you were going to try with it?
Freezing.
Yeah.
Acid. Harsh words. That's about it.
All right.
You could try noise, sound, some sort.
Water, yeah. Sound, yeah.
Well, water does nothing. With things like fire and acid, especially the acid, actually, it does start to deteriorate. It's not, invulnerable, this stuff. But you definitely think that if you were to, say, wear it in combat or in if there was like a natural disaster and you were using it for protection, it would protect you quite well, almost like an old suit of armor would protect you.
Then it seems clear we should melt her with acid.
You're not Sam Tyrant.
Do you think it's some kind of cocoon to keep her suspended until she can be rescued or recovered?
It could be, couldn't it? Yes.
Entirely possible.
Doctor, do you think it's technical or biological?
I would say a bit of both. it came from. Did you say it came from something on her skin?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does definitely seem to be almost like a skin augmentation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Gemini Bioware, right? They do this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Would I know if EMP would have an effect on sort of BioWare, sort of whatever technology?
It often does.
You could have a go if you want.
Yeah, I'll have a go at that then.
Yep. At this point, I
just-
make sure to be standing away from the EMP blast,
I'm going to
very away, as in standing
tried.
right behind him.
We tried using EMP in a match once, and fortunately it killed the cameras and we lost 3 sponsors.
Surprised it was only 3.
A nice try though. Yes, I'll fire my EMP at her. Make it from a distance.
Yeah, from a distance.
I mean, there was also the guy with the pacemaker in the audience, but I mean...
Well, it kills the truck, but no effect on her.
Well, it would appear we're walking the rest of the way.
I'll go get us another vehicle. I walk
Thank
out
you.
into the road.
Yeah, there were a couple more motorbikes there. Couple of little quad bikes as well.
When you
No-
say
no.
there, whereabouts are we?
So if you go back to the outside of the venue, there's a couple more.
Okay.
On,
I'll walk out to the road.
Okay. You're kind of at the end of a road. This is really the only thing out here for miles, say for the tower. If you walked a little bit further, you might be able to get a bus if you're thinking of hijacking a bus.
You say hijacking, I shall walk to the end of the road.
Well, I would assume offensive wouldn't just ask nicely.
She's got a license, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, licensing.
Hmm.
4 tickets to
Okay,
the
so it doesn't really matter how you ask then, since you've got a license.
Mhm.
Okay. This is where
And she
if
can
it's
charge
Cthulhu,
a
if it was-
fare. as well.
if it was Cthulhu, a luck roll would be perfect, but there is no such thing. So let me roll d10. Okay, so there are no
folks.
buses left, like no tour buses left at the actual Welt Ball Arena, but you can see a bus stop.
Okay, I'll go stand at the bus stop.
Okay. Do you read the timetable or do you just wait for one to show up?
I look at it, I get confused, I look away from it.
Okay. It's one of these sort of old-fashioned digital tickers, so you're kind of just doing that.
They
It's
design
very
it
confusing and
to make
disorientating
it
to watch.
complicated to make it seem okay when the bus is late.
Mm.
No one knows when the buses are running, then they get less complaints.
Yeah. But you wait there for a little while.
Some
there are
things
none-
haven't
none that
changed.
come by.
Uh-oh, connection.
It's not.
Oh. Yep, I'm back. Sorry, I wait there for a while.
Yep. No sign of any.
No other traffic.
Well, this is what I'm saying. In that it seems like the arena is at the end of a road.
Okay, I walk back, I get a quad bike, and I go into town or wherever, Vladivostok or something.
Okay. Well, it's not Vladivostok. Like I said, that's a little bit away, as in the actual city of Vladivostok. But there's a couple of like small villages and stuff nearby.
Okay. One will do.
So there's like a gas station.
I'll go in there. There's bound to be vehicles in there.
Well, yeah, that's the place you think of first, and yeah, there are indeed a couple. So there's a pickup truck, There's a couple of smaller cars.
Cunningly, I'm going to choose a vehicle that's just been refueled.
Ah, okay. So you see this quite burly, presumably Russian chap. He's got some trackies on, bit overweight, drinking lager, and he fills up. He puts his ID chip on the little display to pay. Starts to get back in his car.
Excuse me, sir. URG. You appear to be inebriated whilst in control of a vehicle. Luckily, today is your lucky day. I do not have to write you a ticket. Instead, I'm going to issue you with this here free service from a URG authorized mechanic that you can collect your vehicle later, and I'll take it there now.
Can your character speak Russian?
No, I do the whole thing in English.
Okay. Can you give me a presence plus attitude?
That is a fail by 3.
Okay. He takes a big swig of beer from his can and burps in your face. But he takes the ticket and he looks at it. He obviously doesn't know what it says, but he looks at your credentials thing. He does seem to twig that you're obviously an official of some kind. So he says in very broken English, he points to his car. You need vehicle?
Yes.
You drive?
Yes.
Oh, okay. He goes round to the passenger seat and sits in there.
I get in the vehicle. I pull out my gun and I point it at him.
Ooh. He kind of
And I make the shoe motion. I make the shoe motion to get out.
He does get out, but he's obviously annoyed with that, and you think he might be swearing at you when you pull away.
Okay. I haven't driven a manual for quite a long time.
Okay, so you get the pickup truck back to the others, presumably?
Mm-hmm. It took a while. Probably about an hour. So whatever happened in the meantime, go for it.
We've wandered off by now.
No, try and keep her alive and wonder where Offensive went to. Where did she go?
Yeah, in the meantime, when she's realized that kind of trying to peel the skin off herself is quite useless, she then tries to pull out this needle, this tube.
Oh no!
So whether you
no. Yeah, I'm
going
to try and stop her. No, we're not having any of that. No.
It's like the is that skin stuff between the arm and the body. Is it like joining? Is she getting to just be one big
blob?
Oh yeah. It's been all joined up for ages now. Yeah. So it's covering her now completely. It's almost like she's wearing one of those bodysuits.
Yes, we're not pulling that out. We're keeping it in there. We're trying to save your life, damn it!
She's obviously quite weak, so yeah, if you do try and pull her arms away, she's not kind of trying to fight back too much.
You need to get her to Gemini. If they devised this substance, then perhaps they can get it off her.
Yes, I would have thought about maybe driving, but
yeah, sorry about that. Maybe.
Well, Offensive has now turned up with a pickup truck, fortunately.
Oh. Well, that rather answers that question.
Okay. Lift the girl up and get her in the back.
It has a third pedal that I've not figured out yet.
There's some more lag again.
Oh. Are we back? See,
Just about.
I can see two of you moving. Three of you now. Ian's sort of there. Okay. Yeah, it appears to have a third pedal. Not sure what that's for. So it's one of those ones where you have the stick.
Oh dear.
Indeed, it is quite an old vehicle.
Do you does anyone know how to drive one of these damnable things?
Just about. I got it here, didn't I?
Yes,
all the way up.
yes. Don't take this the wrong way, offensive, but we're just trying to work. We are taking bets on when your luck with this vehicle runs out. Right, where are we going with this damnable thing?
I guess to the Gemini Tower.
Yes, I think to the tower. That's the probably the
yes, it would appear to be the way
There's
to
still
go.
the issue that Daniel was taken there.
We can do an exchange.
Good idea.
Okay. So, presumably you get Gemini comfortable. And you head over across the wasteland toward this tower. And eventually you arrive. It's bigger than you previously thought it was. It's a good, sort of 900,000 feet, you think. It's like one of the big US, New York skyscrapers type thing. When you get close, it's a bit crazy. Hence why you could see it, from everywhere in the landscape. But you do find a front door.
My, that's a big one.
You kind of drive round one of the big legs that juts out. And you see that there is technically a driveway of sorts, but it's a little bit... it's not well maintained, let's put it like that.
Is there anyone around? Is it fairly quiet or?
Yeah, it is quiet. It's a little bit strange. There's nobody outside. There's nobody in. There's like a sort of a barrier thing, but there's nobody sitting in there.
No other vehicles or anything.
No, when you get to the front door, there's sort of a big foyer/reception type area. There's a big desk. Stairs going up. The first thing that hits you is it's very hot and humid in here. Almost like you're in a greenhouse. In fact, you actually hear the sound of dripping, and you realize there's quite a lot of moisture dripping from the ceiling. There's nobody at the reception.
At that point, I remembered several important dates I'd put in my diary.
Could we hear any sirens going off anywhere in the building?
No alarms. There is the sound of, you think, sort of computer fans. So there is still some stuff that appears to be operating.
Check. I take it we're at the front door, so there's a reception area.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
A big
check.
desk.
Check behind the desk. Check the computer monitors and so on. Just on the off chance that there's any sort of surveillance of the upper levels on there. Perhaps maybe we can't hear an alarm because it's been triggered to silent. Or
okay. That might be more Jang's area, but we'll see. So it's still on. There's like a Gemini BioWare screensaver bouncing around the screen.
Yeah, press a key.
Yeah, when you press the key, it's been locked, so there's a password.
Okay.
Zhang,
Yes.
a little bit of tomfoolery required here.
Okay, so I'll make myself comfortable in front of the computer and start tapping out the keyboard. So if I can hack in.
All right. Yeah, so naturally the password is one step. Actually getting things like surveillance is another thing. So I need you to make 3 intelligence plus computers and AI.
Okay. Okay, so that's a 10. So I beat that by 6.
Yep.
That is
Okay.
a 9, so that was beaten by 7.
Mhm.
And that is a 7, so that was
Okay.
beaten by
Coolio.
all of them.
Yeah. So it takes a bit of time, but you've done this stuff before, so yes, you get in. You actually get a like a plan, like a general plan of the tower as well. Especially the ground floor, so you got sort of lifts and things you can take, where the different departments are and things. But yeah, in terms of cameras, on the did you say you wanted the top floors, like the very top?
No, I assume that any reception area would have would have some of their cameras in the reception area just to stop people being idiots, and perhaps would have access to the areas where the main offices were. Where the CEOs and directors or whatever were situated.
Look at the phone. Is there like hotkeys for quick dials?
Yes, it's all sort of digital and touch keys, but yes, there are.
Okay.
But yeah, there's quite a lot of different areas with cameras. It's a big tower. In terms of any kind of alarm, no, you can't see that any alarm per se has been triggered. But something that you do see, Jang, which worries you a lot, is there's weird sort of plants, almost like creeper vines that have covered a lot of areas within these offices. Not so much on your floor, but definitely further up.
It's entirely possible that there's not been anyone here for quite a while. They've let the plants go a bit wild.
The quick dial is how many people are on it? Is there lots or just a few?
Let me see if I can put a phone book for you.
There is okay, so there's a few people. There's let's see. There's one that says switchboard. There's one that says CEO.
I'll press that one.
You press the CEO one. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything from where you are, but you do hear a ring going on the phone, so it is ringing.
Okay. And I wait.
You wait. Okay. How long do you wait?
Until it rings off, or I get hungry.
Okay. The first thing as it rings off, it's sort of after about a minute, no answer.
I'll try the switchboard.
Okay. You get a sort of recorded switchboard type message. So it says, "Welcome to the Gemini BioWare switchboard," and it goes through various options, like if you are of a sort of if you're ringing on a corporate nature, press 1. If you are looking to make a delivery, press 2. If you are looking to join our team, okay. So it takes through some more options. So it talks about, okay, if you are looking for a commission, if you are operating on behalf of the UIG, if you are looking to buy any of our equipment, various other things. Okay. Putting you through to Mila Yuri. And it puts you on hold music.
Okay.
Obviously, we would like to play that whole music, gentle viewers, but we're not allowed to for copyright reasons.
Let's say it's something like, Vivaldi's Four Seasons type stuff. And it goes for about 5 minutes. before somebody picks up. And it is somebody, sounds like they're British. It's a man who says, Miller, you're a Gemini Bioware. How may I help you?
Oh, hello there. I'm at your spire near Vladivostok.
Okay.
And it appears to have been deserted. However, I have one of your agents here in some kind of cocoon, and I think she's dying, and I'm trying to save her life. Also, you have somebody I'm interested in, so I was hoping to do some kind of exchange. I've kept her alive so far. She's one of yours.
Right.
Well, I say I mean, I'm in a team, of agents.
You say
UIG
she's
agents.
One of ours, you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, has she done the whole skin thing?
Yep.
Well, then, I mean...
Then what?
We don't want her back, then.
Why?
Well, she's self-destructed. You probably got too close to her.
No, we got a pipe in to keep her breathing.
Oh, for God's sake. Well, look, we'll just make another one. Don't worry about her. She's... There's loads.
Yeah, but...
It obviously went wrong, so we'll make another one. I'll make a note of that for you. I'll put a request through.
Right.
You hear him
Now
stop typing.
You also have one of ours that I would actually like returned.
And you say you're from the UIG, so we have
I am indeed.
A UIG officer?
A UIG officer, yes, absolutely. Welt ball player by the name of... what was his name?
Daniel Two Swords Chan.
Yeah, Chan. Two Swords Chan. Two Chan.
Oh, you hear some more typing. By the way, as you're speaking to him, there's a huge delay on, like, it takes a good couple of seconds for him at least to reply to what you're saying.
Must be using StreamYard.
But you hear him typing and stuff, and he says, well, apparently he's where you are right now.
Yes, that's right. Only there's none of your people here. They all seem to be, I don't know, dead, deserted or something.
Okay. Is there anything else there that we should know about?
Well, if somebody could meet us in reception so we could sort out picking up our guy.
Okay, let me make some calls, and I'll see if I can send a team over for you.
Okay, that's great. You've got until I manage to dismantle the entire fucking tower, which won't take me long.
You hear him sort of laughing to himself.
There's no one here. I'm going to get up to mischief and steal all your shit until someone comes here and deals with this problem. Am I making myself clear now? You got all your top secret stuff somewhere here. I'm going to find it. So please send somebody to deal with the situation and give back our guy.
Yeah, well, like I said, let me make some calls, and I'll see if I can send anybody over.
That would be dandy. Why, thank you very much, young man. And I hope that the Federation gives you a good home when you're ready to retire. Oh, whatever corporation you work for. Oh, yeah, Gemini. Yeah, I hope they give you good bio something, whatever it is they do to their employees.
Well, you know that my income comes from the UIG anyway, don't you?
It does?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they own Millenniuride, duh.
Oh, I thought you were Gemini.
Yes, I am. But UIG owns Millenniuride.
So do you work for the UIG or do you work for Millenniuride?
No. I work for Gemini.
For Gemini.
But
yeah.
Miller Uri, the place where I am, is owned by you guys.
Right. So my company pays your company, and your company pays you.
Well,
Is that
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So as your employer, sort this shit out now.
Can I take your name and rank for the call, by the way, madam?
Yes. My name is Dishwasher. Oh no, I changed it. My name is Offensive Back.
Okay, and what's your rank?
I am ranked, yes. I was about 18th in the league, and then I retired.
No,
So
your UIG rank, Ms. Back.
Oh, I don't play for the UIG team. I used to play for the Cougars.
No, your UIG rank when you work for them.
When I work for them?
You are
I'm
working
an
for them right
agent.
now, aren't you? Yes.
Yeah, I'm in Division UIG Delta 793. No, just UIG Delta. The special operations thingy-majig. You know, the cool guys. I'm one of them.
There's a bit of a pause.
At which point I turn round to Nicholas and Zhang and say, "Weapons ready, boys. I think we're about to have company."
I'll make some calls. And then he puts the phone down.
Yes. Yeah. Zhang, Nick, offensive. We're about to have company. I'm taking out both guns. I'm John Wooing at this point.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a cougar in my left hand.
The dripping is becoming a little bit more noticeable, perhaps because it's just a bit strange and abnormal.
Okay. Was I able to locate anybody in the building on the computer at all?
In terms of on the cameras, certainly nobody sort of members of staff or anything, but you could make me a, let's see, perception plus observation. You're really sort of pausing, zooming in, things like that.
Which I made by 4.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, there's no staff that you can see. There's nobody walking around. There's no security, but there are definitely a couple of shots, like camera shots that you can see as they move around the room, where you think there could be possibly human or a life form, as in not plant-y, that is there, but it's difficult to tell what it is. It's kind of encasing.
What floor is that on?
Oh, like in a lab or something.
Yeah, there's a couple. One of them is on the 3rd floor, and the larger one is on the 9th floor.
Okay, I think we've got some sort of signs of life on the 3rd floor and the 9th floor.
I suggest we check out the 3rd floor, mostly because it's closer.
It's not too far to jump.
Good idea.
Well, I was thinking that as well. Yes, it comes down to it. 3rd floor is easier to jump out of than the 9th.
Well, that depends on if you're a cat and which numbering system for floors that you're using. See, if you're using the proper American numbering system, the 3rd floor's fine. But if you're in Europe, you've just entered the danger zone for a cat. Whereas going up higher will actually enable the cat to glide and lose more velocity, which means it could land safely, so the 9th would be better. So, is anybody here a cat, and are we in Europe?
No and yes.
We're technically possibly not in Europe, though kind of are, but not. But I'm fairly certain none of us here are feline. So I suggest the 3rd floor.
So you're not feline what, exactly?
I'm not feline your groove. Let's go to the 3rd floor.
Oh dear. I was going to propose a quick break, mainly because I am desperate for the loo.
Okie doke.
Sounds good.
We'll BRB, folks.
Yeah, BRB.
Burb.
I'm back.
Hi, offensive back. You're back.
We are back.
No, I'm back. You're Foxworth.
I'm Jason Spider-Man.
Other superheroes are available.
Mm-hmm. Right. So after that rather convoluted analogy for cats, which floor would you like to choose first?
Third.
The third.
Similar out of not out of anything other than the fact that if we chose the 9th floor, we'd have to pass the 3rd floor to get to it.
Yes.
You know, so
Seems logical enough. Okay, so as you head up the stairs, they're sort of large spiral staircases, quite glamorous. You know, glass banisters, that kind of thing, which terrify me in real life. You can see more of these plant-like things that are kind of taking over everything. Not all vines, but they definitely have a vine-like look and texture to them. In parts, they're kind of almost pulsating a little bit, which is kind of worrying. As you get up to the 3rd floor, there's more liquid on the floor. Not just water either. There's a bit of a funky smell, kind of like weed killer type smell. It's probably the closest you can think of.
I stop for a moment and turn to the doctor. Doctor?
Yeah?
I'd like to present to you the following scenario. I'd like you to sort of give me your impression as to whether or not the scenario has any validity or not. We saw the young lady in the car, the shield that was growing on her had when I tore off that piece, it did remind me somewhat of bark. Is it possible that a BioWare could actually grow beyond the mere skin? What I'm trying to suggest is these vines are possibly the staff, the workers in here. BioWare extending?
I would say I'm a doctor, not a botanist, Jim, but that may not be the correct answer.
Especially as my name's not Jim, yes. That's Jane over there. That's the closest you're going to get to a Jim.
It is quite possible, but I think more investigation is in order.
Yes.
Things might not be entirely safe here then.
Yeah. I have several possibilities. One is that we're dealing with fucking triffids. Another is that
should
it's
we wait
actually,
till they're finished fucking?
It's either that or we're actually dealing with something that's a mean green mother from outer space and it's bad. But if that's the case, it looks like we've been had. How much of the low shop of horrors can I pull out of there? Or possibly that this bark thing has some unforeseen side effects.
I think perhaps they could be related, but as the gentleman on the call with Miss Bach suggested, the substance surrounding the woman downstairs is some kind of self-destruct mechanism. So unless it's gone haywire and has self-destructed everyone in the building, and the tendrils, as you say, and the remains of those people, and it's a very nasty place, and I think we should leave immediately.
Well,
clearly, the vegetation has evolved or done something they didn't expect when they were doing science stuff. So what we need to do is do what we should always do in the Western Federation. That is, A, kill it with guns, and B, say no to science.
Well, it seems like they've abandoned the building anyway.
Offensive? Remember
You're right,
that
I prefer my sword, personally, but...
remember that talk we had about subtlety? We're going to subtly destroy the vegetation, possibly, and perhaps subtly say no to science. In fact, so subtly that science won't realize we're actually rejecting it. Right, we're gonna. What are we going to do, guys? Are we going to split and search in twos? Or are we going in as a pack?
Let's stay in a pack.
When you get to the main floor, there's like a main door, which seems the obvious place to go. There is a keypad, but it looks like some of the plants have kind of prized their way through and sort of got the door off its hinges a little bit.
Okay, that's not ridiculously scary.
Is there another gap to see through into the other room?
Yeah, it's sort of about this long, this wide even.
What can we see inside the room?
So you lean down and have a look. You mainly see more of this plant in your face. You definitely get a bit of this sort of funky smell, and it does feel quite moist. Beyond the plant, it's sort of solid clinical floors. There's some sort of casing, again, a bit like you saw on the camera, but it's vertical.
Okay. Well, this looks like the place.
Yes.
Not much you can see. There is also a little plaque next to the door, which says Model 2.
Model 2?
Oh, bugger.
In English, by the way, in English.
Oh, bugger.
So it might be an early version of Gemini then.
Yes.
We need to get in there and see what's going on. So
yes,
we can lever this door off.
Zhang, please make a mental note when we leave here, hopefully when we leave here, and we're able to, do please remind me to pick up more underwear before we leave. To go back home. I've got a feeling I packed a little light. Never going fucking commando in a tower like this again.
Yes, so try and lever the door off somehow. If we can find a fire axe or something, we can.
I would suggest that we perhaps try and find a way through without actually damaging the vines if possible. I have a feeling we may regret hacking at it.
I'll say that there's a fire axe and a fire extinguisher on this floor, in the little glass casing.
Well, we can use the handle of the axe and try and just break the door out and get the handle into the.
Yeah, just try and create some space without breaking the vines. I have this terrible feeling that we've only gotten so far because we haven't actually touched the damn things yet. We've only observed.
Interesting theory. So you bash.
Although, of course, I would like to take that all back because the GM just said it was interesting.
Yeah, but you know me in horror games. You bash the door at the weakest spot.
Horror.
It takes you a little while, but I won't let you roll for it. You do manage to get a big enough hole for you all to get in. As you're doing so, you definitely see this large vine thing next to you. It's sort of pulsating and just flexing a little bit, but it's not rearing up or anything like that. But it is still creepy all the same.
Okay. Is it? Does it look like there's anything inside of it, or is it opaque?
It is mostly opaque. There is something secreting out of it, like a sort of yellow substance.
Oh, it's part of all this moisture, I suppose.
Yeah.
Take a sample.
Okay. I'll say that's feasible.
Someone blows its nose and you want to keep it?
It may come in handy later.
Smell quite repugnant.
I think it's going to tube over this way.
Quite a sharp, musty smell.
I will analyze it in lab later.
What colour is it? Yellowy.
Yeah, sort of a pale yellow.
Puss.
Yeah, possibly. But anyway, you sort of clamber into this room. The vine kind of disappears around into the corner, and you can see that it has obviously come out of some kind of compartment it's been in, where it's broken through the glass. The other cases that you could see, they are, like I said, vertical. One of them is like the door is just open completely and it's empty, but the others appear to be full of Gemini.
Model 2.
Oh dear.
Now, either Gemini was Model 2 or this is Model 2 of Gemini. And there's a 1 and a 3.
Yes.
These presumably on the life readings from the computer.
Can we see if we can fire up a computer or maybe workstation somewhere?
Yes. So there's like little monitors for each of the cases. They're just kind of held up. You think that it might be sort of airtight, but oxygen in there, possibly. There's no liquid in there anyway, so they're not suspended in liquid. But yeah, you fire it up. Status appears to be normal, except for the obvious breakout. And there's a couple of little details, so just give me a second. It did say Gemini Model 2. There's a couple of status levels, including tough skin and cardiomechanics.
I've encountered the tough skin. I'm not sure about the cardiomechanics. Do they have like a life reading readout on the side of each of these cylinders?
Not in the instance of an actual human, but they do have basic things like heart rate, oxygen levels, so they must need breathing of some sort.
Is there a green button or one that says open?
You mean on the cases?
Mm-hmm.
No, but you can see that there is there's like a key card slot on each of them.
So I assume if we did open it, Gemini would just go into this skin phase thing again. And
Well, maybe that's what I wanted to find out, or if I could maybe activate one and maybe give it a mission.
Possibly.
they're probably safer in there than we are right here, actually.
Can you the chambers, these boxes that the Gemini are in, and the other, they're all numbered, aren't they? Or they have some sort of designation.
Yeah, it's not like 1, 2, 3, but yeah, there's a designation for each of
them. Zhang, see if you can find some sort of medical journal logs. They must have been keeping some sort of notes on what was happening on a day-to-day or possibly even an hour-to-hour basis.
Obviously, these are just Gemini agents, are just manufactured somehow. And that's what this is. They're manufactured. They're not even human. I mean, what is human? I mean, a human that becomes machine, or a machine can become human, who knows? But the point is, they don't have the same rights or privileges as us. They're just machines, but biological ones. So, what I suggest we do is we try and turn them to our advantage. Is there a way we can give instructions to these things?
I can see if there's a manual or something that comes with them.
Yep, manual would be good. I would like to make sure that in giving these Gemini instructions, and I do agree having a couple of them would be handy, but I would like to ensure that when we do give them instructions, they're not going to turn into great big viney things and try and kill us all.
Okay.
Rather defeat the purpose.
Well, something's going on here. It could be Could be what was wrong with maybe batch 2 or whatever the version 2.
Except for the fact that we also have something going on level 9 as well,
There is, yes.
which I find myself worryingly having to consider going to see. Part of me wants to go and investigate. The other half of me wants to go and find my underwear now.
Well, we haven't found Chang yet. The two-sword Dundee, the
Dan.
guy with the welt ball.
Yes. Yes, I have a feeling that he's going to be on that level.
Level 9, yes.
I don't suppose that there's any mention in the computers of any detention area.
Can I fire up a workstation then and try and find out if there's any maybe read the last couple of medical logs they wrote, or
Yeah.
and if there's a detention level?
Okay, so you have a look through the medical logs. Mainly talks about the tough skin. There do appear to be variables of these results, and in fact, there's a couple that go off the chart, which they flag up as a bit worrying. It's as if it reacts too much to the skin. Anything else, if you want to try and command them to do something, there is like an option to go deeper, but then it comes up in another language, which none of you understand, and it seems like you can't get through without sort of another bypass.
Like, if you want to give them orders, you have to do it electronically before you take them out the tank.
Okay, do it.
I'm afraid I don't understand this. I could give it a try. Can I tap a few keys if I can work it out? Who needs a manual? Who needs a manual?
Google Translator.
Google Translate. Like I say, you don't understand what the language is, so.
Google it.
Does it come with diagrams?
No. Yeah. Give me an intelligence plus arts and culture.
Arts and okay. So that is a 12, which was made it by 1.
Made it by 1. Okay. Right. Let's see. Okay, so it seems to, like, you just simply type out what you think is a word. It does seem to understand, sort of, but then it says back to you in a voice, an matter.
Uka in the room is that language again that we heard downstairs. Anyone know what it is?
No.
No.
Well, Offensive thinks it's French.
French is not one of mine.
I don't have. I have English, Spanish, and Mandarin.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that it's not a language that any of you know. And, when you try to think about what it could be, none of you particularly recognize it. But if you try again, it says this same phrase back to you.
Okay. Can I Google the word?
Well, you can try, but it's audio only, so you'd have to try and spell it correctly, which is going to be difficult. But I will allow you to do so
Okay.
with another intelligence plus arts and culture. Sorry, yes, arts and culture.
Which is bang on 13.
Okay, so it takes you a couple of attempts. You kind of think about, okay, what phonetic could this match up with and stuff like that. But you go on, let's say, the 2500 AD version of Google Translate, and it seems to be coming up as Finnish, and it means I don't understand.
Neither do I. Finish.
We appear to be.
Can we swap over then? Type in the English and then copy and paste the Finnish text out.
Okay, what are you going to type?
Offensive. What do you want it to do?
I want it to investigate what happened here and report back to us.
Okay, investigate what's on the 9th floor and report back.
Oh, cunning.
Okay, so you type this in. Are you doing that sort of whole instruction? Are you doing it quite sort of simple words?
I might break it down into just maybe lines. So leave 3rd floor, go to 9th floor, investigate human on 9th floor, report back, sort of idea.
Okay, so you see the rest of Gemini who are still there in their cases. Their heads come up a little bit, and they try and get out of their cases.
Oh, all of them.
But they can't. Yeah.
Excellent.
You hear the computer saying "Alta, Alta."
Hit enter.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's say that you hit enter. You try a couple of the buttons. The case is open. They almost tumble out actually because they've been kind of hitting against them for a few seconds. But they come out and they kind of they recognize there's an obstacle by the door. They work it out and get past. They slowly become more human, in terms of their movements and stuff, less robotic. And then presumably they head off to the 9th floor.
Let's have a cup of coffee.
You nearly said tea, didn't you?
I did. We should find the kitchen area whilst they do our job for us.
How many did they just let out?
There were 3.
3.
The fourth one, like I said, the case has been completely smashed and was not occupied.
Okay. So do we just wait a bit for them to come back?
Yep.
They're probably going to answer in that fish talk thing.
We'll just keep Google Translate up and then we'll just...
Oh, that could be fun.
Are you waiting for them back in this room, or did you say you wanted to go and try and find some coffee somewhere else? Or...
Offensive wants to find coffee.
Yeah, I'll go do that. Somebody should wait here for them to report back. I'll come back with 4 cups of coffee.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Did we get anything on the medical journals? Have we had any idea what the fuck happened here?
Yep. So, like I said, there was lots of studying with the tough skin, and there were a few occasions where the sort of, say, the levels in their bodies went off the chart.
So this is the logical extent of that tough skin going bloody haywire.
So that one by the door could be the Gemini they got out of the case.
Yes. All the more reason why I don't want to actually hack at it. So I have a feeling that that might not go well.
Well, as you're sitting waiting for Offensive to come back with the coffees, the vine does kind of pulsate a little bit and just twiddle itself a little bit. Rather unnerving.
Actually moving, is it?
It seems quite happy where it is, really. Just sort of chilling, hanging out. But it does sort of, as if you're like adjusting yourself in a chair, it kind of shuffles a little bit. It's quite, like I said, it's quite big, so, and it's going through a door, so. But you can see that it's made quite a definition on the wall. Like, you can actually see cracks and stuff.
I'd like to leave now.
But are you waiting for the coffees?
Wait in the corridor.
Wait in the corridor.
Yes. Let's have coffee in the corridor.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that works.
Okay, let's not do that.
No. I'm just trying to think where certain things are. Okay. In my mind.
Wait in the car.
Okay. So you have.
Oh no. Oh, you're frozen. Sorry.
He's back.
Oh no, not again.
No, we can hear you.
Yep.
Becky can.
Anybody there?
Yes,
Hello?
we are.
Anybody
Becky's
there?
frozen now. Sorry, Jason, you froze there a bit and you went down completely.
Hello?
But Becky's gone.
Yes, you're there.
Can't hear us. Can you hear us, Jay?
No, he's it's gone again. I thought he was doing quite well there for a minute.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, anyway.
Number 3.
Dana style.
Stephen, whoever else is watching, I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. We apologize for the technical difficulties we're having this evening, but lockdown is just causing major bandwidth issues. This is the bandwidth equivalent of everyone sticking the kettle on at exactly the same moment.
Okay, we appear.
Hello, I've been returned.
Welcome back.
Hey.
It's because I said something scary, isn't it?
I lean off camera occasionally because the cat is in and out all the bloody time while I'm sat here by the back door. Oh, and I lose connection.
Hey,
We can hear you.
still there.
What
Yeah,
is
we can hear
going
you
on
fine.
tonight.
Yeah. You're still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of still there.
Yeah, because I've been contemplating whether this is our connection or if it's just Zoom being terrible. I don't know.
It's not Zoom, but yeah.
Okay.
I think it's our connection because it's us two that seem to be most impacted.
Yeah, because you were frozen for ages, babe. So you come back up the stairs, Offensive, with 4 cups of black coffee, that kind of oily, horrible black coffee from a crappy vending machine in a little carrier thing. And as you do that and you get to the top of the stairs, the rest of you, if you've come out into the corridor now, you suddenly feel extremely hot behind you. And Offensive, you can see that essentially a giant jet of flame has come out from 3 little holes behind them in front of the door, just like down. And you hear the sound of like the plant burning, and it starts writhing in a lot of pain, presumably. But you actually feel the hair on the back of you kind of a bit tinged.
I'm going to find a telephone.
My hat.
And your hat as well. Okay.
Who the fuck put that on?
Any particular telephone? Like
No.
on this floor or?
Yeah, one on this floor.
Where the hell did that come from?
I'm going to get through to Millie Uray again.
Okay.
Another self-destruct mechanism.
Okay, I'll say you just find one in an office a bit further along the corridor. Yep. Putting you through to Millie Uray and then hold music. Meanwhile, the Inferno carries on, and you can actually see another one a bit further on. It seems so powerful that it's actually catching fire, not just on the plants, but on everything, like bits of the wall and stuff like that. And it's spreading.
Some sort of like containment procedure, perhaps.
Yes.
No sign of the Gemini as of yet.
I wonder if they might have instigated this action. Perhaps we should go downstairs again.
Yeah, I think we should go look for them.
Upstairs. Oh. Leaving the fire below.
There must be more than one way out of this building.
Well, it's a big tower.
So are we heading up to the 9th floor then, or are we getting the hell out?
Could we see any escape?
I'm on the phone at the moment.
Not from where you are, but you imagine with it being such a big tower, there must be some sort of escape, like fire escape type, extra stairs, that kind of thing. So you're busy waiting on the phone?
Is there any like smoke alarm or anything? Fire sensitive, sensors or so on for...
Is it still going on, is it?
Yes, actually. Come to think of it, yeah, there is... you start to hear a smoke alarm go off as the fire starts spreading.
Okay, I look around for sensors in this on this stairwell where we are. Just...
Are you thinking for like water or something like water?
Well, I'm looking to see what it is because there tends to be a couple of different kinds of fire repression units. The water one is fine. Mm-hmm. It's the other one we're going to have to say no to.
All right. Can you give me?
Probably not. But let's go for it.
Let's say an intelligence plus observation.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you can see. Are you just going along the corridor on this floor at the moment? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Okay. You see a few more of these holes where presumably some more jets of flame may come out of. At the moment, they're not, fortunately. You've also seen a couple of they're sort of fatter, like metal things, almost like showers, where you've got sort of, small holes where water can come out, but they're not on. They're not protruding any water. And in fact, as you're looking, the smoke alarms go off. They just abruptly stop.
I suppose I could
and
go back
the
to
flame continues.
I suppose I could go back to the the reception computer and see if I can turn off this flame thing.
Yeah, well, I did say there was a fire extinguisher near the fire axe. Well, maybe we could try that. Stop it at least spreading out of the room into the corridor. Contain it somehow.
Pardon me, anyway. Does anyone happen to smoke?
Not me.
No, afraid not.
Damn. Shit. Okay. Damn goes using the lighter.
Eventually, offensive, it stops the hold music, but it says, unfortunately, no one can take your call right now as there is a training period, but if you would like to leave a message, please speak after the tone. Beep.
Hello. This is a UIG operative inside your tower near Vladivostok. As previously expressed, the building is now on fire, and I still don't have a manager here to deliver my guy that you kidnapped. So, the flames are going to get worse now. I expect immediate action by some kind of manager or something. Where's my guy? Don't make me come up and burn that place too. And I slammed the phone down. Gotta make the most of what's thrown at you, haven't you?
The flames are spreading further now, and Maxwell, the flames near you as well have also started.
Oh,
So
fuck.
Is it into the hall now, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's another one further down the hall. There's a couple of plants there as well, which again are also obviously getting damaged by this.
Gentlemen?
The flames are mostly inside rooms rather than along the corridor.
Gentlemen, lady, we're going to have to make a decision. Are we going to attempt to ascend to level 9, or are we going to...
Clearly, these flames are Gemini burning all evidence, so we better get to the 9th floor quickly to rescue Chang Dang, if there's anything left of him.
I'm more worried that they're trying to burn us.
Oh, of course. And also remove any trace of what they're up to here, because they know we're here, because I told them.
Subtle.
I have not once denied science in this whole mission as you requested. However, the belief system in me is complaining most vehemently.
Now we go to floor 9.
Ascend.
Okay, so you skippy your way up to the 9th floor.
I'm gonna take point. I've got both guns out.
Okay. There are lots more plants up here. A couple of small ones actually try and release themselves from the ceiling and kind of fall onto a couple of you.
Motherfucking
more as a fright thing than, they don't hurt you, but it's a bit terrifying even so. And some of the large ones are trying to sort of lean off and detach themselves from the wall and stuff like that to get away from the flames. They're catching really easily. They're obviously very flammable. But you get up to the 9th floor. There is a door that is open, smallish door. It's really covered in plants in here. There are loads and loads of glass cases that have all been kind of smashed or broken in some way. But in one of the cases, where there are the 3 Gemini sort of surrounding, there is some kind of large thing that is sort of, it's not moving. Again, very sort of plant-like. A bit more like coral though than anything, but it's sort of an amalgamation of weird stuff.
What are the Geminis doing?
They're just looking at it. They're just crowded around looking at it.
What? Okay. Clearly something got lost in translation. Fuck Google Translate. Now.
I wonder if they captured Chang Dang in order to try and make better agents. They want the best 2 sword skill agents around or something. So they want to take his bioengineered code or something. Because, Gemini. Bio.
Certainly a viable theory, offensive. And when we find him, we can ask him.
You hear a moan.
You don't think they infected him with this?
Turn towards him, Moan.
Not now. We're searching for someone.
Turn
It's
towards
now.
him.
It's coming from the case. It's a very weak moan.
Yeah, head over to it.
Can someone shut that moaning up? I'm trying to concentrate.
One of the Gemini actually leans in forward and goes, "Oh, dervet, oh," and kind of starts doing this, almost like they're trying to coax a cat or something. And then you hear a dull thud on the glass.
Right, I'm heading over to it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What do I see?
So it's mostly plant by now, kind of covering something. It's a big, if you imagine a coffin, but sort of twice as wide. But essentially, it's a load of moss. It's a load of sort of vines and ivy and things. But there is a bit of you can see a bit of welt ball uniform kind of jutting out, like sort of quarterback type armor on.
Okay.
You can see a rather withered hand.
I think we've found two swords. That's the good news.
A lot of his hand is like sort of half of his hand is kind of just deteriorated. So there's just 3 fingers left, and they're kind of clawing up.
Yes. The good news is we have discovered him and he is alive. The bad news is he's clearly a plant.
Is the case intact? Is he contained?
Mostly, there's like a single crack down it.
I'm going to get out my PDA and start filming this.
Okay. You see, anybody who's not watching, you see the Gemini, they actually go over to a console on this floor and they start twiddling with it.
Thank you for watching the Instagram account of, oh crap, what's my name? Oh, Offensive Back. You've been watching Offensive Back. I'm on a mission right now. Check this shit out. Isn't that incredible? That's a person. Formerly, Dan Two Swords Jan of the Welt Ball team, the UIG one, what were they called? The Justice or something. Anyway, that's what's him now. He's been murdered by Gemini.
At this point, I smack it out of her hand.
Okay.
Oh, come on. It's posted anyway.
Okay, gentlemen, we are now at a clock.
You might not have a following, but I've got to keep up the pretense. I have a fan base.
Yes. Unfortunately, your fan base, I'm pretty sure, are members of the Gemini Corps. Shit. We whatever clock we were on has just spun into overdrive.
Out in the corridor. The Gemini are quite rapidly typing on the console. You're not sure if they're making the flames worse or possibly warding them off.
I was worried you were going to try and open the case.
I'm not sure what the fuck they're going to do. The problem is, I don't think we can take the case. The case already has a crack in it. If this thing breaks while we're trying to get it down the stairs, we are so screwed.
I think he's staying here. I just got to stop these Geminis from opening it now and letting them out. So,
why? He's who we're here to rescue.
I think he's beyond saving.
Oh, come on. Doctors are amazing. They can do great things with their science.
Besides, if he stays here, there could be an opening in the team.
But I'm a cougar.
head over to the Geminis.
Mhm.
I've no idea because I'm not computer literate, but I'm trying to see any screens that they have, try and ascertain what the hell they're trying to do, whether they're, as you say, whether they're trying to fan the flames or stick them.
Give me an intelligence plus computers and AI roll then.
Well, made it by 2. I don't roll those dice more often.
Yeah, you're getting the feeling that they are more trying to ward the fire off for now. Certainly from where you all are in this room.
Hmm.
Well, that's good anyway.
I don't know. I have a feeling that the elders and betters of this particular company are trying to destroy the evidence, and Gemini are rather keen to keep it. I'm not quite sure which I prefer at the moment, other than the fact that they happen to be trying to torch the place with us in it.
Is there another computer terminal?
Yeah, so
close
they're
I can
on
use?
they're on some sort of, they're obviously trying to control these flames, so they're on a different console, but there is like the regular case controller, if that makes sense.
Is it possible to try and hack in to their control and maybe change their orders?
Potentially, but because you're now on a different floor and they're kind of mobile. But as you're thinking about this, they suddenly go, oh, as if they're surprised by something, and one of them says, Sotilat, Sotilat, and they point down.
Could you do a translate on Sotilat?
They look at each other, and then one goes, and just like gun motions.
Soldiers.
Oh, I think some of them have turned up downstairs.
Oh, time to go.
Yeah, this offensive would like to take a look.
I'll go deal with downstairs. You see if you can rescue our guy here. Do some doctory things.
Okay.
No, we should not.
At this point, when offensive goes, I hold my hand out like that to the other 2 men, and I say, like, I'm holding straws in my hand. We're going to draw straws. Anyone who draws a straw, we get to keep saving this man. And if you don't draw a straw, we leave him to burn. So if you'd like to take your straws, please. No straws. Okay.
You don't appear to have any straws.
Well, in that case, why don't you 3 go downstairs to deal with whoever's coming, and I'll save this man.
I will save the man.
This guy's end up like the rest of the plants in this building.
Look, I hate to break it to you, but I don't think we should actually save someone that's going to need to be rooted, watered twice a day, and could probably be killed off with a bunch of weed killer. Although in saying that, most human beings require being watered down quite a day and be killed by weed killer.
Saying saving him won't be a complex operation. I'm just saying we can't save him if we leave him here.
Can you all make me an agility? Actually, no. Reflexes plus athletics roll, please.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Didn't fail by much, but I failed.
I failed by 3.
Pass by 5.
I'm still trying to get there. Too many windows open. failed.
What was yours, Maxwell?
Mine, I failed by 3.
Yep. Maxwell?
Failed by 2.
You failed as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So Becky, well, Offensive, you're the one who feels it first, but essentially what happens is right in the center of the room is one of these holes, and down comes this flame, and you feel the heat enough that you just instinctively dive out of the way. But the others, you, let's see. Okay, so those of you who failed, you take 6 health as the flames lick up your flesh. You do have the opportunity to potentially roll away, although in here would be quite difficult. Also, the Gemini are hit. They probably won't last very long from that. But also, you now hear screams coming from the case.
Okay, I'm going to take a running shoulder barge at the case to get it out the flames.
Okay. You can make me a strength plus athletics roll, but I'm sure you'll pass it.
I do, by 6.
Yep. Okay.
I'm going to try and roll away from this flame.
Mm-hmm.
Is that another reflex? And
Let me just have a look, because there's actual mechanics apparently in here for rolling away from doing the stop, drop, and roll thing.
I just want to say I'm going to fail it, and fail it quite spectacularly. But you know, the instinct's going to take over here.
Okay, so essentially, if you're trying to put out a fire that's on you, so aka through like rolling or whatever, that is agility plus reflexes.
Agility plus reflex. Oh, actually, I actually have a decent chance here.
It says another person can spend 1 round to help you put the fire out.
I made it by 6. I'm
Okay, so
quite impressed with that.
You've done a few drills of this on your time, obviously, yeah. So anyone who wants to do that and you pass, you manage to do the stop, drop, and roll effectively. It's only just caught fire on you, so whilst you're hurt, it does extinguish. Okay,
that wasn't flaming nice.
I bet it wasn't. You smell burning ivy coming from the case. It's not burning per se, but it has obviously burnt quite a lot. It's all charred and crispy.
Can I lift this case up?
It's big. It's big. It's got sort of a metal framing on. You need at least 2 people to lift this.
Oh,
okay.
I'll give you a hand to lift it.
All right, let's carry it out to the lifts. I know you're not meant to use them in a fire, but that's science.
Oh dear God.
Oh dear me.
Okay. So I'll say that with all of you, you can lift it, but you know, if you imagine carrying a coffin takes a few people, so you know you're sort of carrying out. The Gemini unfortunately have kind of no, they haven't got wheels. You think they might use like a cart thing, you know, to wheel them along, but you can't see anyone in the room. The Gemini unfortunately didn't make it. But anyway, you carry it out. You get to the lifts, and presumably you're going to the ground floor?
Yes.
Unless there's a subfloor garage we could go to.
Yeah, and I suggest we use this big heavy box thing here as cover as the doors open. And I'll get my sword ready.
Okay. And as the lift doors slowly and quite jutted open, like with a jutter, let's leave it there today.
Hey.
A good old lift cliffhanger.
Who are going to face Foyer?
I think we may have bit off more than we could chew there, guys.
Actually, what do we do with our Gemini? Do we leave her in the car?
She
I
was
don't
kind
know.
of near it. You let her out.
Yeah, we let her out because we were worried about,
She was going to blow up.
Didn't we bring her with us to do an exchange initially?
Yes.
Did, yeah.
So
she's probably in the reception area or something.
We shall see.
Okay, so I've also realised, because I'm not used to doing XP, I'm just used to saying, yes, you level up, but I haven't been giving you any. So I suppose... I might need your help with this, babe, because I've never leveled up in Corporation before.
Well, I doubt we've got enough XP to actually level, per se, have we? Just award an amount, 5 or 6 or something, or average it at 1 per session or something like that.
Yeah, it takes 10 XP to level you up to level 2. You should give between 3 and 5 experience points per session on average.
We have quite short sessions, so maybe not quite that much.
Okay, let's say then you've got 7 each for now. For the session so far.
Okay.
How much? Sorry?
7.
7?
7, yes.
Okay.
And you can buy stuff with wheel. But a lot of them you won't be able to afford just yet, but I'm happy to go through them if you need me to after for the broadcast.
Let's save it for level up or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I hope that was entertaining for you.
Yeah.
Much fun stuff. Yes, exactly.
Enjoyed that thoroughly.
Heroes don't need
Don't
XP.
worry what was going to happen to Gemini. Just wait for the blow up in the car we were in.
Yeah, that was funny. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to kill the broadcast. So thank you, Steve and Co, for watching.
See you later, Steve. See you on Friday.
Don't forget, if you have